If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now? If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
If I didn't have to sing in tune, because I'm talking, not singing, would I sound okay as a boy or a girl? What do I sound like now? But what if I put on a French accent? Would I sound like a Frenchman, or would I sound like an American?
If I didn't have to sing in tune, because I'm talking, not singing, would I sound okay as a boy or a girl? What do I sound like now?
That was all recorded by this. It's called micdrop, and it creates versions of your voice, I suppose, or AI versions of your voice using all these different characters here. And as you hear in the intro there, including kids, we've got a stadium chant as well. And we've also got effects. We've got a compressor, we've got a delay, chorus, and a reverb in there as well. So everything that you might need to create a pretty final vocal. We've also got instruments, so you can sing into it. I've not tried this, to be honest, yet, but you can sing into it and you can make yourself sound like a 303 or a cello and stuff. But I'm just looking at the vocals in this demo, and that's for good reason, because I got this software specifically because I thought it would be a very useful tool for me. I do sing in some of my demos. I've sung on release tracks. Some people think I've actually got an all right sounding voice. Danny Miller, I remember at Mute Records, he came and told me what a great voice I had when I was doing some stuff there. But it doesn't mean that I don't hate listening to it. It doesn't mean that I can't stand editing it, and I can't really judge what I'm doing a lot of the time. And for lots of tracks, I want a female vocalist, and to try and demo something, say this is what I want it to sound like, with me trying to sound like a female or singing in falsetto, is just, not perfect. So, having something that I can play to somebody and say, can you sing this, or can you sing something like this? And it also gives me a good idea of what it might sound like with a female. Brilliant. So I did want to see what I'd sound like sounding like a female. So the question being, if I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? What would I sound like as a boy or a girl? And what would I sound like through this software? So I sung just a really simple little line that you heard in that intro, and this is me singing it here. You can see how much I've been playing with this, actually, with all the various things I've done with it. But this is what I sung. Please don't have a go at it. It's just me singing. I've got this little mic somewhere, hardly singing, no emotion, just to see how it worked. If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now? So I'm hardly singing there at all. I'm not putting lots of emotion into it, but I'm trying to sing in tune at least. So then I just try to have a little play with some of these voices, and you can see here I've bounced them all down, and that's because it does use a lot of processing power, and as I'm recording the screen and I'm recording the vocals and doing that at the same time, things can just get a little bit glitchy. I'll show you what I mean. If I bring up winter, I quite like sounding like winter. Let's put that back on. So here's my vocal, and on here I've got micdrop, and this is on an instrument track. I've put it as a software synth on a MIDI controlled effect in Logic. If we come down here, MIDI controlled effects, Sound Labs AI, micdrop, and that means that I can use MIDI here. So there's some MIDI. I'll play that in a second, but I'm just showing you how I set it up. You can just throw it on an audio track as an effect. But let's hear what winter sounds like. And come to here, Audio, where are we? Starsky Vox. And I'm not using the MIDI here, I'm using the auto-tune in it. I'm not sure why it's doing that little clicking noise. I think it's the setup I've got here in the interface and sometimes with the mic on record. I think basically just the computer gets a bit confused, hence me bouncing everything down. Just try it one more time.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices?
So it's picked that up really well. Let's try another. Let's just go through a few, shall we? Nick Whiskey. So it waits a minute, it's doing some sort of process and then it'll pick it up in a second. But
Voices, should I be?
let's put him back into the natural octave.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should
Now you can hear really little tiny glitchy things in there, can't you? It doesn't sound perfect. So that's another reason I've been bouncing it down. But if you look at this down here, I've got the same thing bounced down a number of times. It's the same vocal bounced down a lot of times. But if we zoom into them, look at these three here, you can see the waveforms are different for each one.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices?
So listening to that in other voices bit there, let's try it on the next one down.
In other voices,
Sounds a bit different. And then we come down to the next one.
in other voices.
So each pass of it, it does it slightly different, which is quite strange. And it's never exactly perfect for the whole take. But if you do a few takes, you can pick out bits and get it much cleaner. But it does really depend on the input signal. So I'm in this room here, which is quite echoey, using this little mic here. So when I first did it, I've lost that recorder now, unfortunately, but there's a bit of reverb in it. It's a bit more glitchy, so you're best off trying to get it as unglitchy or as unreverby as you can in order for it to de-glitch itself, and then trying to get it in tune as much as you can. We've got on here, we've got an auto-tune. So let's come back to the effect.
If I could
So bring in the
tune,
auto-tune.
what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
Try another model. We've got Sweet Reverence. So it's picking her up. Let's put it on an octave higher.
Like in other voices, should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
This is why I tried the French voice for this guy, actually. Let's take that off there.
I'm like in other voices. Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
Some of the voices do sound quite similar, but I think that's because it's pulling out things from my voice. If we try, let's try someone that definitely doesn't look like me. Looks a lot cooler than me. Franklin.
I'm like in other voices. Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
That sounds nice, doesn't it? If I bring in the piano again.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like?
You can hear there it's a little bit delayed. Sometimes it's delayed, sometimes it isn't. It's obviously really CPU intensive.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
Haven't downloaded all of these obviously yet. Let's try Luther, another male.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
Again, give it a second. Start again.
Sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
There's a little delay on that now, but there wasn't one earlier. So things like that are a little bit weird. But let's have a little play with the MIDI. So we're using this MIDI here. It's on the channel, on the mic drop channel. As I say, I've used it as an effect, as a MIDI controlled effect. Let's unmute them. And let's go to MIDI.
If I could sing in tune.
This single thread's popped up again. So I do think that's got something to do with the software and the way it interacts with other software. Because when I take other effects out, it disappears, then it comes back again. And as I say, I've never had this before. So there is some little CPU glitch happening.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now? If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
On the first pass then, you heard that little glitch in the second half of the phrase, and it didn't do it on the second pass. So it's really weird whatever's happening in here. So yeah, and I am getting those weird little CPU glitches every now and then. Singing live as well, obviously it's a bit glitchy, but it does do it. There's a preview mode basically. If we come here, we can see there's a preview mode there. So if you are talking or singing live, if I play this now. If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in? So that's my voice, but you can hear what it's going to do on the notes. If I could
Sing in tune, what would I sound?
Yeah, well, there's that weird little glitch again. If I just go to another track and stuff, I found out it seems to just reset itself.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices?
Let's try another one, shall we? Because it is fun, this. Let's try Tessa Nova. We'll go up an octave, otherwise she'll sound like she's been smoking a lot of cigarettes.
What would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
I mean, that's pretty loud in the mix. Let's turn the mix down a bit. Let's turn that down. Let's put the piano. The piano is quite high there.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound?
Just bounce that down.
If I could sing in.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit out of time there. Let me just pull it in.
If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
Very passable for a demo, and you could probably do stuff, I think, with that in a completed track. I don't think it's cheating if you're using your own voice, but just to come back into there, here's a selection of voices we've got. The stadium chant's weird. Obviously, I think you've probably got to shout a stadium chant, but let's try it. It's a bit of fun.
What would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl? If I could sing in tune, what would I sound like in other voices? Should I be a girl or a boy? What do I sound like now?
You can see how the staging chant might work in some instances, but all in all, I've been having really good fun with this. There are a few glitches in it. There's a few timing issues here and then you got to bounce stuff down, but it works. It gets you close enough, or gets me close enough for what I need it for. You may be able to produce a whole EDM track with it. I did try that last night actually for some of the stuff I've been doing with my mate, and we've been using samples, so let's try and do something original. So I had to record it a few times to get my pitch a bit better. I then didn't use the pitch on this. I used the pitch melody, and just to make things so this wasn't having to work so hard, and it was pretty good. It sounds okay, take some snippets out of a few of the different passes, and I've got something that I might actually see if we can release with this vocal on it, which would be really interesting. It's not an AI vocal, well, it's an AI effect on my vocal, so it's not like I'm getting I'm putting a singer out of a job, am I? Or maybe I am, I don't know, it's hard to work out that, but I'm not using a sample at least. All in all, I absolutely love this. I've been playing it to everyone that's come in because I'm just so amazed with what you can do. Yes, it's modern tech, yes, it's AI and the rest of it, but it's still me singing and me being able to do demos to play people stuff that I want things to sound a little bit like. And when I've got Winter singing me as a female, it sounds an awful lot better than me trying to sing as a female. So thinking back to all the things I could have done with this over the years had got me a little bit emotional because yeah, it's staggering. So do check it out if you are looking for someone to demo your tracks, or you want a better demo your tracks, or if you want to try and get a complete track out of it. You know, you're never going to sound like Adele, Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish. You're not going to get that level of performance from it, not yet at least, but for me, for demos and the like, yeah, and this is it's quite a stunning little bit of software. But I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was of some use to somebody somewhere. If it was, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Affiliate links, starskycar.com, all those bits and bobs. Check it all out. And thanks for staying to the very end. Hope you liked it. I'll see you next time.